What about cancer in kids? Fasting. It's either that kid came out with cancer, that means that kid was in your belly eating the cancerous foods that you was eating. That's it. Or whether you came out without cancer and then you was feeding it like it's a wild animal. You are a mother. When that baby is born, that baby come out of you with something called a placenta. That placenta, it looks like the tree of life for a reason. You're not supposed to cut the umbilical cord. You're supposed to let every blood, every piece of DNA, every piece of information that's in that tree of life, which is what you are. You are the tree of life. You give life, you hold life. There's no life without you. You are extremely powerful. And now you done had that baby. One, you cut it off. So everything that's within you from information from the ancestors, everything that's in your DNA, everything that you done learned, whether it's trauma, whether it's love that you're supposed to pass down to that child, you done cut that process off. So now all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the energy, everything that you're supposed to pass off into that child don't get that because you cut off your umbilical cord and you don't let all the blood, all the nutrition that's supposed to go into the kid naturally go into it, and then the placenta will fall off by itself naturally without you using any tools. That's one reason why a lot of kids are coming out sick. And then two, just like I told you, you are the bearer of life. You are extremely powerful. You are so connected and tapped into source. That's why you are very emotional. That's why you are energy in motion. You are God in the flesh. Nobody's more tapped in and connected to source than you on this very planet. And now you think that, when you're born, like the galactose, which is your breast milk that you're born in, which is the only thing that your child is supposed to consume for like 1, 2, 3 years old, you think that's not good enough. You think it makes logical sense to take your kid and be like, no, this powerful milk that I have that is supposed to give you everything that you need until you're able to get off of it and consume, natural foods that the universe has given to us on your own is not good enough. So you tell it, how about you go suck a baby cow's titty or a baby goat's titty? That doesn't make any sense. And now your kids are seeing the reaction of the decisions that you've made. You're making it consume like an animal that it's not. It's not a cow. It's not a goat. It's not any of those animals. It doesn't make sense for it to consume that milk. And also after a certain age, when your kid become like 3 years old and up, it's not supposed to be consuming no type of milk at all. It's kind of like you go in a park and you see a 40-year-old grown man or a grown woman sucking a titty. Like, it doesn't make no sense. You done past that stage where you needed to be consuming that. Like, if everybody goes through the natural process, you don't need to be consuming no lactose, period. That's why they're saying, 70% of people is lactose intolerant. You're not lactose intolerant. You just not a baby cow. You just not a baby goat. But when something happens to us because we're doing bullshit programs that they done given to us, and now our bodies are reacting to it like, oh, they give it special titles like, you're lactose intolerant, and now since there's a special title that they give to it with a corny explanation that don't make no sense in the first place, you think it's okay, but it's not okay. That is why your kids have cancer. That is why your kid nose is always running and always have pus and ear aches and mucus and all that stuff, because you feeding it something that is totally unnatural and it's total common sense if you just look at it. You feeding it something that is called a formula, like Enfamil. Like, what is that? Like your breast milk, like God make mistakes? That's what you're telling me? Like, like nature is dumb. Like, it literally gives you all of this for no reason, to the point where you say, no, I'd rather go to someone that created something in a lab because they cannot patent your breast milk to capitalize off of it. And you think it's better to consume that instead. And then your baby wind up with cancer, and ear aches and a bunch of birth defects. And you wonder why. One, you was consuming bad in the first place while you was, holding the baby. And two, what was your mental state like? Who was your farmer? The baby daddy? Was the baby daddy watering you? After planting the seed, did he water you? Did he speak life into you? Did he nurture you? Like, Like seriously, the whole process is totally off from how we're being raised and nurturing and blooming. Like we gotta go through the natural aspect of things. We gotta go through natural birth. We are going through a birth process where you put in a hospital, you lay on your back and you looking at a big artificial light. That don't make no sense. How you gonna be pushing something out of your temple and you laying down? It wouldn't make sense if a baby is coming out of you and then you just squat and it naturally drop and fall into some water because it literally just came out of water and took, instead of coming in this thin air. Like the whole process is abnormal. And then your baby come out and they automatically cut the connection that you're supposed to have with your baby, which is why a lot of kids nowadays don't have that deep connection, that deep love with their parents. They literally cut off everything. And then your baby come out, they don't even leave the baby with you for too long. They take it in another room and put it under some goofy lights, like that's the place to be. All of that don't make sense, period. The whole process of us birthing and coming into this world is dookie. We got to take everything back and go back to natural. And then they bring this little paper in the room that has 2 feet, and then you sign your baby away like you don't even have rights to your kid. Soon as you write it in print, you basically sign your baby away to the government as soon as you get a birth certificate and a social security and all that. So they can literally come to your house and take your baby and literally pull out the book of law on you, and you can't do nothing about it because you're not living according to the law of the land. You living unnatural, and you literally signed and said, that's what I want to do. That's why your baby is worth money. Your baby is just like, this olive oil. It has a barcode. That's what the Social Security is. So, I know this went a little too far from you just asking about cancer, but I just be feeling like, some things you must hear. Feed your baby naturally. And I know a lot of people wondering, well, what about a baby with cancer? Can a baby fruit fast? Yes, it can fruit fast. It's naturally a frugivore. That's kind of like asking, can a baby gorilla eat watermelon, or can a baby monkey eat banana? Yes, it can. That's its natural food. That's what it's supposed to do. And right now, if you are a mother, you just had a baby, or if you are currently pregnant with a baby and you haven't created the pattern, or you haven't programmed yourself, or you haven't developed enough strong will to break the patterns that you done created, that you see is ruining your family. Your great grandma was sick, your great grandpa was sick, your grandpa, your grandfather was sick, and you wasn't strong enough to break that generational curse. You are in charge of the programming that the baby that comes out your body receive. So it's up to you. If you can't break the curse with yourself, break the curse with your baby. And then your baby will inspire you to do better for you. Because you get to pick what they eat. Whatever you give them, that's what the programming you create for them. The little songs that you sing to them, that's programming that you create for them. The books that you read to them, that's programming that you create for them. Everything that you do is what they know. Babies don't come out looking for meat. They don't come out looking for Enfamil. They don't come out looking for Lactaid. They don't come out looking out for none of that bullshit. They come out and they are open and vulnerable to receiving love and to be fully, truly who they are. And it's up to you to start feeding them the life and the information that you're scared to give to yourself. So if you can't break the generational curse with yourself, break it with your baby. Don't keep the pattern going and feeding them death, and then you walk around like, I love you, you love me. If you really love them, give them life. Give them the life that you couldn't give yourself, or you're not able to give yourself at the moment, and you should be working on giving to yourself. And your baby will be disease-free, not waking up in the middle of the night crying because it got earache and stomach ache, or because it got a bunch of phlegm on its stomach and it can't really breathe while it's laying down and it can't sleep and it got cancer and a bunch of baby stuff. How is somebody that is fresh into this world dealing with so many things? Due to the fact that you was consuming so many things. The way that you wasn't living wasn't right. And now that baby coming out and it ain't right. So get right. And if you can't get right, let the baby get right by you getting it right, because you create the programming for the baby. So you raise it properly. You feed it life. You done planted the seed inside yourself. You gave birth to the seed, and now the tree is growing. You water it with the right water. You water it with the right food, with the right sunshine, with the right everything. It's all up to you. Love you and love it. And if you can't love you, still love it. Give it the love that you're not willing to give to yourself. And as we know, love always wins. It's the law. LAW. And remember, peace is a weapon. Hit them with peace. And if you're going to be loyal to anything, be loyal to your peace.